Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the biggest news that has came out in over a while. And it is official. It's not coming from leakers. It's not coming from Reddit sources. We have the official confirmation coming from James Gunn, who has claimed that Superman, Man of Tomorrow will be a project that will release on July 9th, 2027. This is the official title, which means that with this release date, Superman, Man of Tomorrow comes out on the exact same day of A Quiet Place Part 3. It's going to come out right next to another movie that Marvel is going to be releasing between Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and it is also going to come out about a week and a half after Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse does release, which is on June 25th, 2027. So already we can see that the summer of 2027 is going to be so hyped, so glorious, and I cannot believe that just after 2 years of Superman releasing, we're going to be getting a Superman sequel. Also keep in mind that the Batman Part 2 comes out later that year as well, within a 3-month time span. So for the DC fans, we're going to be eating so good on that year. Like, can you imagine coming out of 2027 and saying, I have seen a Superman sequel, the Batman Part 2 sequel, and also Avengers Secret Wars alongside with Beyond the Spider-Verse and another untitled Marvel movie. It's going to be an insane year. And also, knowing that the Batman Part 2 and a Superman sequel comes out within a span of 3 months, this definitely sets up a world's finest team up. I understand that there has been so much speculations on whether we're going to be having the Batman merge within the DCU. I mean, like, we'll see, but it does seem like, just looking at this setup, it really does seem like James Gunn is planning for something big. Now, James Gunn has said multiple times that we're not going to be getting Robert Pattinson's Batman merge into the DCU. We'll wait and see, because a lot of this does align very well. So to all the merge bros, let me tell you guys something. The speculation is at an all-time high. Also, I just cannot believe that we're going to get a sequel so fast, because when you really think about it, right, going back to the Batman Part 1 came out back on early 2022, and the Batman Part 2 comes out October 2027. Within those two films, James Gunn has worked on and released Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the first Superman film. The Man of Tomorrow also comes out before the Batman Part 2. He has also developed the television special, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, also being involved in Creature Commandos Season 1, also being involved in Peacemaker Season 2, also helped produce Supergirl, Clayface as well, and an extra season of The Lanterns, and at the same time becoming the head of the entire studio of DC. So yes, all of these projects have been released between the time frame of the first Batman movie and the second Batman movie. It's insane the type of work ethic James Gunn does have right now, and we should have seen this coming. We should have seen that a Superman sequel is going to come very soon, because about 2 weeks ago, James Gunn also stated that he had a 70-page treatment ready to go. He claimed that the treatment was the hardest part. He knows exactly how every story is going to unfold for the next 3 to 4 years, and he stated that because the treatment has been so well thought out and so ready to go, that the script is the easier part. The script is basically ready for Man of Tomorrow. So keep in mind that Superman Man of Tomorrow is another project that will continue the Superman saga. So we will be getting David Corenswet as Superman, obviously, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Isabel Merced, who will be returning as Hawkgirl, and maybe and possibly Aaron Pierre might also cameo in this project, because he did comment under the picture that James Gunn released regarding Lex Luthor and Superman, and he said yes indeed, that he most likely will be there. I know that maybe this could be him just simply supporting this project and being very excited, but if you're going to be commenting on there, for sure you're going to have some sort of appearance. And this will not be a direct Superman sequel. James Gunn has made it very clear that it is going to be very much Superman related, but not a Superman sequel. It is much more of a collaborative ensemble project where we are going to be getting multiple perspectives from different characters through the film. So as we do look at this picture that has been released by James Gunn and also created by Jim Lee, you can see that Lex Luthor has a full suit, and this tells us two things. Point number one, obviously he gets the full suit, and we will be seeing it in live action for the first time in cinema history. And point number two, he's going to come out of prison, because remember, at the end of Superman, Lex Luthor was taken to prison, but eventually he is going to be coming out, and the big question is going to be why would Lex Luthor come out of prison, and why would Superman become an ally to Lex Luthor? Because when you look at Superman's right hand, he is carrying a screwdriver, meaning that it's telling us that he helped put the suit together. They become buddies. buddies, but very temporarily. But the main question is, like, why is that? Like, what makes these two characters team up? And that's going to be one of the biggest speculations that James Gunn is going to be creating for the next year and a half. A lot of us are going to speculate who is going to be that villain, who is going to be that foe, and most likely, based off our own expertise and comic book knowledge, it has to be Brainiac. When you bring in Lex Luthor and Superman and they're forced to be together, to team up, to become allies, that foe has to be humongous, and it's highly likely that Brainiac is coming. A villain that was planned for the first Superman movie. It was seen before during a documentary that was released a few weeks ago that James Gunn already had the Brainiac plans. Like, he was actually planning on using him in the first Superman movie. There was a full artwork already done, but James Gunn did confirm that he did push the Brainiac character for a later project, and that is why most likely we will be seeing it in the Superman Man of Tomorrow movie. If you guys are also wondering, like, what type of armor is Lex Luthor going to have? Is it going to be like just like a robotic type of armor with no gray, no purple? I would say that James Gunn is going to go full comic book, because if you look at the Raptor suits in the Superman movie, it did have green and purple in it, hinting the fact that Lex Luthor is a big fan of these two color schemes. Also, when you look at the hammer of Baravia and the way that it was designed, it was almost like a prelude or like a way to foreshadow that this is going to be Lex's DCU battle suit. So I would say there is a 100% chance, not even 99% chance, but 100% chance we're going to get a comic accurate Lex Luthor suit, because if you're going to be fighting Brainiac, you have to come out with full armor. There is no way Lex Luthor is going to just come out there trying to fight somebody and just raw dogging the whole thing. No, you have to be fully covered. We'll talk about the dynamic between Lex Luthor and Superman in just a few seconds, but I also want to announce as well that there was also this article that was released by Nexus Point. I'm gonna say take it with a grain of salt, but most likely it's maybe like 80% true. But in this article, they have claimed that they're gonna be starting production on this film in June 2026. It will be written, directed, and produced by James Gunn as well. And the cameos and character involvements we will be getting is Millie Alcock as Supergirl, Jason Momoa as Lobo, and John Cena as Peacemaker. Now that is where things get very tricky, right? Because we thought that we're gonna be getting the Superman family in the next film, and it could be maybe a Supergirl Superman team up movie. Could that be something else, or is that within the story of Lex Luthor and Superman teaming up together? So that is where things get very murky, I would say. But all in all, I would tell you this: James Gunn is really good at handling multiple characters within a single film. So don't be surprised if we get a lot of introductions from characters that we have not seen before, or team ups that we have not seen before. Maybe seeing the Peacemaker in the first Superman movie was a hint or a tease that he is going to eventually team up with Superman. And I don't know if you guys could tell, but like the fact that James Gunn has been like planning so many team up films, like Superman with the Justice Gang, and now we're going to be getting maybe potentially Superman and the Super Family, or Superman with Lobo, Peacemaker, Supergirl. All of this does lay the foundation for a future Justice League formation in the DCU. Going back to the Superman Lex Luthor dynamic though, like I've said, this art does imply that they will team up to go up against a larger cosmic threat. I think that knowing that there is a threat out there that could destroy a whole city, of course Lex and Superman are going to want to save it. And when you really think about it, the fact that Lex has that opportunity to really regain the people's confidence that he is a good man, he can easily look at the situation and say, okay, there is this guy named Brainiac, he wants to destroy Metropolis. Why don't I just go out there, be friends with Superman temporarily, and regain the confidence and the trust from the public, so I could eventually, maybe in the future, just like the comics, become a president, or maybe become a mayor, whatever James Gunn wants to do from there. Because I do think that all of this is 4D chess coming from Lex. Yes, Lex and Superman will get along together, but it's going to be very temporary. Maybe we could see Superman making a mistake through this movie by trusting Lex too much. What happened in the first movie? Lois Lane told Clark Kent, and she said, you see the beauty in people all the time. I might be butchering it, but it's something like that when they were at the apartment. But yes, Superman is a character within the DCU that does overtrust many people around him, and maybe he could be making the exact same mistake with Lex. One of the biggest storylines that Lex and Superman have together is the House of Brainiac, right? Because this was a storyline where we saw Lex Luthor in prison, but Superman does visit Lex Luthor as Clark Kent, interviewing him, and that story could be used to showcase why they become allies in the end. In that storyline as well, Luthor does gift Superman with something called the Super Corp, something that can help Superman defeat Brainiac. Once again, all of this is, yes, to help and assist Superman, but it could be just pure manipulation coming from Lex. It's all really a chess game for him. And I do think though that even with Brainiac most likely being the main villain in Man of Tomorrow, we're probably going to be seeing him before this project, most likely in the Supergirl project that will release in 2026. Maybe we could see him in a post-credit scene. Maybe we can see him being teased through Candor with Supergirl, maybe having a flashback talking about him. There is a lot of ties and stories between Supergirl and Brainiac. We'll see how Lobo does play into all of this, because he's also expected to have a huge role in Supergirl, and with the report also stating that he could be in the second Superman film, we'll see how his character does evolve as projects does go by. So it is going to be a lot of fun. I just cannot wait to see how Clark Kent tries to hide his other side from Lex Luthor, because if Clark Kent is going to be getting very close to Lex Luthor as an interviewer, can you imagine how he's going to have to try and hide his other self, which is going to be Superman? Because remember, Lex Luthor does not know that Clark Kent is Superman, and it's going to force Clark to constantly improvise and try to make sure that Lex does not connect the dots here. I cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.